Hey everyone, Couch Investor here back with another Square video for you today. So in today's video, we're going to go over the earnings report. We're going to look at the graphs as well and see where the company is going, looking at guidance, etc. We're going to look at the key points of the earnings report to keep it as short as possible. But before I get into that, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, we're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. I think we can get it by the end of this week. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. And if you like these videos, leave it an early thumbs up as it really helps me out grow the channel and get my videos out there. So without further ado, let's start with the charts. Alright, so looking at the charts right now, some of you panicked last week and told me, oh, what am I gonna do with Square? It's all the way back to 155, 150. Is it going to go back lower, etc.? Well, we all know right now, and like I said before, no, it's not going to go lower because, well, 150 is a very, very strong support, and there was really nothing that changed for Square, the company. So no, it would not have gone lower than that. Obviously, right now we can see that, but if you're going to watch my other videos, you will see that I'm very bullish on Square, even when there are huge red days like these right there. Since yesterday, the stock has moved from 175 to 185 because of the earnings report. Super good earnings that we're going to look at in a bit. Year over year, 400% growth in revenue and beating expectations over $900 million. Now, what can we expect moving forward? Obviously, today it's going to be a bit volatile in the coming days as well, with the elections maybe getting sorted this weekend. Who knows what can happen? But overall, as you can see here, I think 180, 185 is going to stay for a couple of days. And then probably if there's some positive news coming out, we might go and test that $192 mark again. All right, so let's start with the highlights of this amazing earnings report. So third quarter financial metrics, gross profit of $794 million. It's a growth of almost 60% year over year. You can see here a huge increase compared to the last couple of quarters. Seller growth profit, year over year increase of 12%. Q2 wasn't that great. We all knew that. Peak lockdown, etc. New to the Corona situation. Cash App gross profit, very important topic that we're going to cover later on. So overall, Cash App gross profit up 212% year over year to $385 million. As you can see here, huge growth since last year. Now, one of the biggest points right here is the total net revenue of $3.03 billion. That's a 140% year over year growth. You can see again, huge difference between the quarters, the past quarters and the quarter we're in now. So more and more people are adapting and are switching to the whole Square ecosystem. Adjusted EBITDA of $181 million, 38% year-over-year growth, and net income loss, $37 million. All right, so some of you know in my past video, I talked about Square's opportunity internationally. So here it is, the seller ecosystem. In markets outside the US, seller GPV grew 46% year over year in the third quarter of 2020 and represented 11% of the total GPV. Now, these points right here that you can see on the site is basically a score that they give to each and every country they're in, how likely they are to switch to a product in Square and how likely they are to recommend that product to other people. So obviously US pretty high, Canada high as well, Australia one of the highest, which is pretty good. We've covered that in another video. UK starting to rise as well. Japan, small decrease, totally different market as well. Now, one of the big products that Square has released recently is the Square Cash Card. And we can see that Square card spend is pretty high right now, over $250 million spent by sellers through Square Card, or approximately 34% of these sellers GPV. Right, so now let's talk about Cash App, basically their holy grail for the company, and that's why we've put such a high valuation on the company. So basically here, Cash App saw increased engagement as customers adopted multiple products. In the third quarter of 2020, the number of average daily transacting active Cash App customers nearly doubled from the same period last year. We can see this here on the site. Daily active increasing. In green is the daily actives. In bluish grayish is the monthly active. We can see a huge increase compared to 1 year ago or even 2 years ago. One of the reasons is, well, an increase in stock brokerage adoption, which here we can see since its launch less than a year ago, more than 2.5 million customers have bought Square using Cash App, and billions of dollars had been traded by the end of the third quarter. Right, so now let's go back to the seller ecosystem, so the revenue and gross profit. So as you know, I like to see the top line grow year over year and quarter over quarter, and that's exactly what we're seeing right here. So a 61% increase, percent larger seller, and then here more than $500,000 annualized GPV is always growing as well to 8.8. A year ago that was 7.7 billion. So great to see that top of the line growing as well. Now before I go into the Bitcoin part of this earnings report, because you know we've seen all the reports, oh, huge revenue for Bitcoin, but again there's something very specific you need to know, and we'll go in that in a bit. We're just going to talk right now about Square Capital. So as we expected, Square Capital revenue in the third quarter was down significantly on a year-over-year basis. The reason is because they paused new flex offers until the end of July, and upon resuming offers, we were measured in ramping origination volumes in August and September. Square Capital facilitated approximately 35,000 loans in the third quarter of 2020, totaling $155 million, which is down 72% year over year, which is normal. We're going to see this number decrease more and more moving forward. All right, so now let's talk about this big revenue in Bitcoin. So Cash App generated $1.63 billion of Bitcoin revenue and $32 million of Bitcoin gross profit during the third quarter of 2020, up approximately 11 times and 15 times year over year, respectively. Now, Bitcoin revenue and gross profit benefited from an increase in Bitcoin actives and volume per customer. Now again, Bitcoin revenue is the total sale of amount of Bitcoin to customer. Bitcoin costs are the total amount of Bitcoin that we purchase. We purchase Bitcoin to facilitate customers' access to Bitcoin. So basically it's a weird way of calculating, and I don't know why they still put it every time in their statements. Yes, they always say on the site that they exclude the revenue for Bitcoin, but still for me, pretty weird why they would put it in the revenue statements all the way down in this earnings report. So again, this number is a bit misleading if you don't go into the earnings report. All right, and last thing before we go into the forward-looking commentary, so balance sheet and cash flow, very, very good. We ended the third quarter of 2020 with $3.8 billion in available liquidity, with $3.3 billion in cash, cash equivalents, restricted cash, and investments in marketable debt securities, as well as $500 million available for withdrawal from our revolving credit facility. So they continue and they talk about their $50 million investment in Bitcoin, which is going to be a long-term investment, but overall pretty bullish, pretty healthy balance sheet. Now moving forward, forward-looking commentary. So the seller ecosystem in October, seller delivered positive revenue and gross profit year over year. Seller GPV was up 8% year over year, which improved modestly compared to year over year results in the third quarter. Now they continue with the Cash App ecosystem. Again, very strong results, revenue, gross profit growth year over year. They keep increasing that number each and every year. They keep delivering the right numbers year over year and quarter over quarter, which is amazing to see. Lots of doubters out there, but they keep delivering the goods. Right, so to conclude, if you might have skipped the earnings part, basically they exceeded expectations in every aspect of the company, whether it's the Cash Card, Cash App, the seller side, besides this Square Capital, which is normal that they didn't release more loans and give more loans out, but this number will only improve moving forward. Yes, the Cash App growth rate might maybe decrease moving forward because obviously it cannot keep on growing as fast as it is right now, but overall super strong numbers moving forward. I like the fact that the seller side is also growing internationally, which is great. Now the only thing that is missing is going harder into Europe, maybe have Cash App integrated into Europe, and then obviously when the pandemic is over, hopefully soon go into Africa, because I think that's a huge market for Square moving forward, and especially for the Cash App side of the business. Overall, still very bullish on Square. I still believe we can reach $500 like Ark said in the next couple of years. So moving forward, every huge dip like we've seen recently to 150, 155 is a good time to buy this stock, because it was super cheap back then. 190 days before that was a bit expensive. We got a huge dip, a crash, let's say. Those that added to their position, great job. Those that were afraid that it would go even lower, now lesson learned. And that will be it for this video. If you liked it, consider leaving a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate that. And as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.